So in this video I'm going to show you how to remove and install the rear bumper on a 72 Cadillac Eldorado, and many years up and down with the design will be similar. This one here, we got a good sized dent, so we're gonna put this other used one on. So we're gonna go through that process right now. Okay, so when you go underneath the car, you'll see a bolt on each side, one there and one there. The one's going parallel, not these ones going straight up. And you just use a 3/4 inch socket and a 3/4 inch wrench. And there's a nut on this side as well, and a flat washer. So hold one side and bust that off and bust that off, and then do the same on the other side. So you have 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So after you've removed your 2 bottom bolts and nuts underneath the bumper, open your trunk, and in the corners of the trunk you will see a nut and rubber bushing there. So that one right there, you'll want to remove that. And now get ready, because your bumper's gonna start coming down. It's gonna get loose, so you're gonna want to have a jack or something underneath. So I'm just leaving it on there a little bit so it doesn't completely fall off. And now you'll see the bumper just moved down like that. So now it's getting loose. Whole assembly's getting loose. Okay, so I've got the hydraulic jack in place just to kind of help ease it down. And now let's pull straight back. Here it comes. Okay, so just shaking it out little by little. Before we let it drop to the ground and rip out all the connectors, we should probably disconnect some of them. So you got your lights, and got that one coming through. The harness, yeah, the harness goes along, so harness can stay. And then you got this little one here, so that's really all you got to worry about. Pull that light out. In the center behind your license plate, zoom, that's where you got this 4-pin connector, and that one you should take that one out too before you remove it. And just the 2 on the sides. And you're ready to drop your bumper down. Okay. Now if you're just replacing the middle, you'll have to take these side pieces off with the lights and stuff. So you got some bolts, 3 bolts on the side, which will be a lot easier to see once you've got it off. And yeah, you can swap the sides over too. So I'm using a 9/16 socket here, and these 2 bolts came out okay, but the bottom one, it started just spinning on me. And so what they have is at the back, they have a bar with these nuts welded onto them. Oh, there, you can see it now. So that's supposed to keep the nuts from moving. They're all welded to this bar, so you can just zip your bolts out, except The bottom one, which happens to be in a pile of rust, and I can't even see it. I can almost see it down there. It's broken right off, so now it's just spinning. So I'm gonna have to try and get a wrench or something down in there to hold it, to get that one off. But the thing is it's down in behind this steel plating. So of course the one that's gonna spin on you is the one that you can't really get at. So I'm gonna see if I can get a wrench in there to get that one off. Well, we're gonna have to cut that bolt off. So there it is, there's the nut and bolt, and this nut is the nut that's on this bar. It's supposed to be on this bar. Welded on right there. So yeah, if you want to fix something like this, find a nut that's the same thread, or a bolt and nut that are both the same, because you're changing both, so it doesn't really matter. And set your nut on there. Make sure your bolt can thread in straight. Tack it in place with a welder, and then you're good to go. Slide it back in behind. Okay, so I found a nut and bolt. So when you're doing something like this, make sure you put the bolt threaded into the nut first, so that you know that you don't have it cockeyed off to the side, so you know your bolt can make it through your hole. Try and center it reasonably, or get it where the old one was. And now let's give it a tack or two. Good enough. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Just a few tacks. Keep it in place. Okay, here's our repair. And that flat bar with the nuts on it are going to go back in. Slide behind. So once you got your flat bar piece back in behind, you can kind of wiggle it and adjust it to thread your bolts in, and move it in such a way that you can get all three started. So once you've got all three bolts started, just like any installation where you have really more than one bolt, before you tighten one bolt down, you want them all started, and then you know everybody's going to line up, and you can crank them all in now. So once you got both sides tightened on again, reconnect your electrical connectors here. This one's and the one on this side. And then get some zip ties to zip tie the wire harness back on where it's broke in all these little holes. So you can zip tie it right to there and make it clean again. And there's the new bumper installed.